they hired Paul Otaki, who was the first one. He said, okay, you folks are being taken, we don't know where, but when they get there, we want to know what's going on with Islanders. So talk to people, get the gossip, find out who's getting married, find out who won the baseball game, who's the catcher on the team, what kind of jobs are people doing there, who's sick, who might die, and later in the war, when the Japanese were again included in the armed services, who's in uniform and who's being wounded, So every week there was a column reporting the news, initially from Manzanar and then from Minidoka, about what Islanders were doing who were away from home. And they always presented it that way, that these are our neighbors who are away for a while, and they're going to be coming home, and we want to keep up on their lives. And I think that was just brilliant on their part, just brilliant, because it had that effect. It had the effect of, we knew when Fudge and Tad got married. We knew when David was born. We knew when Kay and Sam got married and when Bruce was born. People could keep up on that, and they were always identified not as Jerry Nakata of Manzanar has a .50 batting average, whatever that is, but it was Jerry Nakata of Winslow. They were always identified by their area where they had lived on the island, so they were still Bainbridge residents there, and people were able to keep up, not only those who were away in camp who could read what was happening on the island, but the opposite was true. Paul eventually went into the MIS and was in the Pacific as an interpreter, along with I think there were about 6,000 others who went to the Pacific, which was not publicized. Nobody knew that was happening, and it's interesting that it wasn't. But when he went, Sada Amoto was very briefly before he also went back to go to school. And then Tony Kura was for about a year, and then he left and convinced his sister, Sachiko Kura Nakata, at that time Kura, to take over the job. And so it continued all the way through. A couple of times they didn't feel like they were doing it well. Paul thought, I can't write. I'm not a reporter. And my folks would send him letters saying, no, this is very important. We need to know what's happening. This is an important part of the paper, and people appreciate it. They like this, so you got to keep it up. And they did.